Kayla Maxon, and I'm a marketing specialist at WrenchWay. Today, I am joined by Leroy Goodwin, who is a automotive and collision teacher at Paulding County High School. How are you doing today, Leroy?
Oh, doing great today. Enjoying
Great,
life.
great. So before we get started here today, why don't you just tell me a little bit about your program?
Well, our program I started off with it as automotive, and we kept going through the different automotives. We've had success in it. Kids are working everywhere. And I realized also there was a need for the collision side. So officially I've got several kids that are working in collision back even when we were doing just automotive. But now we actually officially started the collision side last year, and very fortunate to be able to continue to grow the program, have several kids that are now working in that industry, like I say. And this year I took two of them to the state and on skills, and we ended up with one finishing third and one finishing fourth. The paint and body guy finished the paint. He finished fourth, and my collision repair, he was third in the state. This is what we're talking about, enjoyable. The kids, I try to make them do it. We do repair work for anybody. We're not trying to hurt any of the businesses, but sometimes, my program is set up to help teachers and students who they really can't afford to always get your car fixed. And I don't want to hurt the shops, because the shops is what employs my students. But we do fixing like that, so we stay pretty busy. And I'm very proud of the work that they get out of the shop. So
Yeah, that's great. It sounds like you have such a great program over there. What are some things that you do to excite students to join your program?
all right. Well, I'll show you some of it. I have a project where we take old car parts like doors, skins, and roofs that have been in a car damage. And then I recycle them by making my intro kids, and they have to build their own cars.
Wow.
This is where they are. This is the intro kid. He's been starting to work on this the 1st of January. And you can see there's a little bit more finer processes. And then they'll start doing their Bondo and all, and that's where they're at right now. And you can see some of their imperfections. And then as you notice, now you're getting down to the smooth final product here, where he's ready to actually put his primer on now. And he'll be primering that one up this next week. And they have to put axles on them. And to get more students involved, we'll actually have a show car classifications. All of my advisory board, they come to it. WrenchWay has actually even sent me some stickers, and we're going to have lane stickers with the size stickers. Some of them will put them maybe on the cars, and other people are donating things like that as well. Banners going across our little racetrack, and I'll try to work together with the other teachers. And so we have an ag mechanics class beside me, so they're actually building us a brand new racetrack. And I go to the physics department and talk with them, and we have come up with the idea of making our own who's going to win. They'll actually hit the bottom, and it knocks balls down, and then they roll through a funnel, and at the end, whoever won first was the first one started, and they'll be in a clear tube that you can see first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. So it'll be a 7-lane track. Sometimes we're only using 6, and it lets the kids do that, and they have a car show that they set up. So that gets more kids involved when they see that. And on the automotive side, we are constantly staying busy teaching them as intro. I have the dummier cars, what I say, ones that I have set up with problems. And we spend a lot of time there. We'll come in the classroom, we go over things, then we go out in the shop and they have to do it. So like this week, we're actually getting ready to start the brakes on the automotive side. We went through all the written and all that. So next week I have 5 groups, and they have 5 stations. And this gets them involved and lets them do hands-on all the time. One group's going to bleed, master cylinders, rebuild a wheel cylinder. and doing the bleeding of brakes on a car. Next group, they're going to be doing disc brakes. So they'll be actually taking and timing themselves and seeing how well they can do on a disc brake. Another group's doing drum brake. One group will be doing wheel bearings. They have to clean them out, pack them, and show them all, to me, different stages and get checked off. And then each one of my activities, I put 5 labs with. When it's electrical, we do the same thing. We go over it in the books, we learn and listen. And I think it's become a good way to give them classroom education and hands-on opportunities. And advanced kids, most of their work in the shop is just from helping people out in the community. That's really big for us, to help the community people out without hurting the shops and employing my kids. But by the same token is when we have the car show, we had our first one was last year. And at the car show, there was like 5 different jobs. 5 different kids were offered jobs right then and there on that day.
Wow.
You know,
That's amazing.
It really is. So it's a good way for them to get out. I invite all the shops to come and do different things like that. We're trying to get more involvement. The collision side has got a whole lot more involvement. Part of Seacraft, the Seacraft Foundation, they are very, very supportive in helping schools out. And so I have a couple of board members from that. One of them is actually on my advisory board even. So, you know, we do keep that going, and that helps me. And without that help from these advisors, if I'm at any other teacher out there, if you don't do nothing else, make sure you get an advisory board. And I enjoy going for my benefit. And then several times I've had the students come on, and you know, we'll have a day that when we know you're doing one of your WrenchWays discussions, and we enjoy coming to that. The kids learn from hearing from experienced ones, even though we're not maybe involved in it, but they're learning and listening from these professionals and what these dealers need. And so hopefully that puts us up to look for when they're looking for somebody to hire.
Yeah, and I love going back a little bit how you were talking about getting other teachers and programs involved in with the race cars. I think that's super awesome. And I think an issue that we see in some schools is students don't truly understand what it's like in the automotive part of their school. You know, they don't know what the kids are doing. So I think bringing in students from physics and all that is like a really great experience for them to just kind of be able to see what you guys are doing over there.
We even have a literacy program where each week we spend one day and we have the kids read an article. Well, that's fine. And then they talk about it, we do this or that. But again, I've been collaborating with the science teachers and the math teachers because it's very important in ours. So they'll have a literacy about what collision damage is. And then we'll actually get the physics to do a collision where they have these cars that move towards each other and they get force impacts, and they read about that, and then we go and show and demonstrate them.
I think that's great. So why don't you also tell me a little bit about how you use WrenchWay School Connect?
Okay, well, I'm trying to use it more and more. We watched, like I told you earlier, several of the conversations y'all have and different ones that we have. They work great for my students to learn what they're seeing from professionals. And also there's the job part where you're coming in there and you're talking about what they need a lot of times. And I will save those up and then show it back to them. So WrenchWay has become, it's like an extra tool in my toolbox now. And, you know, it's that I need a job part. You know, what do I need to do to get to the job? And I'll have them go on there and they'll be looking at the different job listings. If you're a quote company and you're looking for something, go to these high school shops, visit with them. They just want your input. Every teacher that I know of that's doing what he should be wants you to come in their shop and visit. For me and my students, we watch all the other student ones and we get to learn from what we're seeing.
Yeah, I really appreciate your support, Leroy. You've always been such a good supporter of us, and we're really fortunate to have somebody like you in this industry. That's all the questions that I kind of had for you today. Do you have any final thoughts before we wrap up?
I forgot to mention, I had one girl also went to skills, and she also finished fourth, and she was in electronics, automotive electronics. And she finished fourth in the state of Georgia. So for a small school like I am, and taking 3 students to state and all 3 of them being top 4, to me, that was an honor and privilege. But more than that, importantly, is these students are going out and getting jobs. And, you know, they have trouble finding them, people don't want to hire. And I thank WrenchWay for having that opportunity for my kids to put something on there to get a job.
Well, thanks again, Leroy. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this for me today, and you have a great rest of your day.
You too. Thank you.